Good morning, everyone. So our report is grading and reporting system. Please go next. Grading is one of the many activities of classroom teacher to professionally judge the achievements of the students. This involves the collection and evaluation of proofs regarding the performance of achievement of the learners within a specified period of time. So, grading is one of the important job of a teacher. It means judging or measuring how well students are doing in their lessons. Teachers collect proof of learning like assignments, tests, project, or class participation, and then evaluate this to decide what grade or mark a student deserve during a certain time. Next. Grading and reporting the progress of the students are two of the most difficult tasks of teachers because there are so many factors and decisions to be considered. In this chapter, we shall consider the different methods of grading, the different purpose of grading, symbols used in reporting grades, and guidelines for effective and fair grading. So, grading and reporting students' progress are hard tasks for teachers. This is because there are many things to think about when deciding grade. Teachers need to be fair, accurate, and consistent. They must also choose the right method of grading and reporting so that the students and parents can clearly understand the result. Please go next. Grading is the process of judging the quality of performance of students. There are reasons why teachers find is the grading demanding are. First, they have insufficient formal instruction in grading. So, they often don't receive formal training on how to grade properly. The next is they have to make judgment based on incomplete evidence grading system. They must make judgment even if they don't have full information. For example, if a student is absent, the next is they have conflicting classroom rules and they have many rules, not only teaching but also advising and guiding students which can affect how they see performance. The fourth is there is no single universally accepted. So there is no one perfect or universal grading system. So every school or teacher may do it differently. Please go next. Purpose of grading and reporting system. Grading and reporting systems serve many purposes, but no single method serves all the purposes well. They are used to communicate the achievement of the students, provide students information to improve their self-evaluation, provide incentive for students to learn. So, grading and reporting have many purposes. The main goal is to communicate how much students have learned. Grades also help students know what they are good at or need to improve. They can motivate students to study harder, do their best. The next. So, select or group students for a certain educational path or progress. Evaluate the effectiveness of the program. Inform the teacher about what students have and not learn and motivate to encourage good work by students Erickson and Stromer. So, diri kay evaluate nimo ang unsa ka effective ang program ug inform nimo ang teacher kung say dapat mahibaw-an sa mga bata ug dapat i-motivate pud sila nga mudu sa ilahang best during sa klase. The next is different schools have different grading and reporting systems. They are also designed to serve many purposes in educational system. Lynn 2009 provide the following purposes of grading and reporting system. First is instructional uses to guide teaching and learning. The second is report to parents and guardians to inform families about the students' progress. The third is administrative and guidance uses to help schools make decisions like promotion or awards. The next, types of grading system. Another most important function of a classroom teacher is to assign grade to the students. What shall be the basis that the teacher will use to assign grades? It is very important for the classroom teacher to discuss to the students and their parents the type of grading system he will utilize at the beginning of the term of the school year. So teacher must give grades to the student, but before doing so, they need to decide what grading system to use. It is important that teachers explain this system to students and parents at the start of the school year so everyone understands how grades will be given. The next is, in this section, we shall discuss the general approach of assigning grades. This approach will depend on the grading system of any educational institution, most especially in the tertiary level. There are different approaches or ways to assign grades. The method depends on the school's grading policy. Some schools might have a fixed grading skills or specific criteria for different subjects, especially at the college level. The next, there are two most common types of grading system used at different college and university in the Philippines. There are the norm reference grading system and the criterion reference grading system. The norm reference grading system is the compresses a student's performance with other students. The criterion referred grading system is measure a student's performance based on the standard or the criteria, not compared to others. Goro na.
So, norm reference grading system. So, a student's performance by comparing it to the performance of their peers in the same group or class. So, this means a student's grade depends on how they rank relative to others rather than on meeting a fixed standard. So, it's often called grading on the curve. The teachers decides the percentage of students who receive each grade level. For example, if the policy states that 20% of students get an A, the top 20% in the class could earn that grade regardless of absolute performance. So the tools like percentile ranks, example, a student in the 18th percentile scored better than 80% of the class. And stanines or a 9-point scale dividing scores into categories are the common in this system. So next please. So these are the advantages of the norm reference grading system. First, it is very easy to use. So it's straightforward for teachers to implement without needing complex standards. Second, it works well for the courses with retention policies and it limits only 10 students to advance to the next level of the course. So, kaniya kay mag-work well siya for courses with strict advancement rules, limiting only a few students to move to the next level. And the third is, it is useful if the focus is the individual achievement of the students. So it highlights how a student stands out relative to others. So next, please. So next is, it is appropriate to a large group of students that is more than 40. So it's effective for classes with more than 40 students, where comparisons are statistically meaningful. And the fifth is, it does not encourage cooperation among the students. So by emphasizing competition, it can motivate individual effort. And the last is, the teacher easily identifies learning criteria, the percentage of students who receive highest grade or lowest grade. So here is the teachers can easily see the percentage of students as achieving high or low grades, helping assess overall class performance. So next please. So, na po siya disadvantages. So the performance of a student is not only determined by his achievement, but also the achievement of the other students. So KANIS relies on group performance. So a student's grade isn't just about their own work. It influenced by the class overall abilities. For instance, a strong student might get a lower grade in a high-performing class. And the next one is it promotes competition among the students rather than cooperation. So it can foster rivalry among students instead of collaborative learning. And it cannot be used when the class size is smaller than 40. So, it doesn't work well with fewer than 40 students as the sample size is too small for reliable comparison. And the fourth one is not all students can pass the given subject or course. So, it's possible and or common for many students to fail if the curve is steep, even if they learn the material. So next is criterion reference grading system. So here, a student's performance is measured against a fixed set of standards or criteria, not against peers. And to pass, the students must meet or exceed a predetermined level of achievement. For example, a student might need to spell 90% of words correctly on a spelling test to pass. These standards are absolute and don't change based on the class. And it's possible for all students to earn the highest grade if they met the criteria, or for all to fail if they don't. And please go next. So napod siya advantages. So first is the performance of the students will not be affected by the performance of the whole class. So, a student's grade reflects their own mastery of the material, unaffected by how others perform. Second is it promotes cooperation among the students. So, it promotes group learning and support. As students can help each other reach these standards without direct competition for grades. Next is all students may pass the subject or course when they meet the standard set by the teacher. So, every student can pass the subject or course if they meet the set criteria, making it fairer for diverse groups. So, please go next. So, naapod siya disadvantages. So next is the disadvantages. So it is difficult to set a reasonable standard if it is not stated in the grading policy. So it can be so difficult to set a reasonable standard if it's not specified in the grading policies of the institution. Next is all students may not pass the subject or course if they do not meet the standards set by the teacher of the institution. So, not all students may pass the subject or courses if they do not meet the standards set by the teachers or the institution. So next is types of reporting system. So here, there is no longer universal method for reporting students' achievements levels. So different colleges and universities use various symbols to describe and report student performance depending on their grading policies. So this can include numbers, percentage, letter grades, or descriptive terms. The table below provides an example of reporting grades at the tertiary or the higher education levels. So, mauni ang table. Mauni ang percentage, numbers, letters of description. So, ang kaning percentage, kay makita ni nato siya sa elementary to high school. Some of kanaang kuan, kanang senior high na gamit og percentage. Then, ang kanang numbers sa college, then letters, then description. So, grading system of public elementary and secondary schools. In the Philippines, the grading system for basic education, elementary and secondary levels, is governed by DepEd Order Number 33, Series of 2004, which replaced DECS or the DECS Order Number 70, Series of 1998. So, this system emphasizes grades based primarily on students' performance. A feature includes first, the lowest grade or the minimum performance standards for the students in public elementary and secondary schools is set at 75%. The lowest failing grade that may appear in the report card is set at 65%. So, the minimum performance standard or the lowest passing grade for the students in public elementary and secondary schools is set at 75%. Yeah, ang lowest failing grade that can appear on a report card ay 65%. And that second one is the same standard shall apply to students in the grade program. And next is, in assessing the learning outcomes, the construction of test items consists of basic terms, factual information, 60%, moderately difficult or more advanced questions, 30%, and higher order thinking skills or items for distinguishing honor students, 10%. Questions in each category should have different weights. Test and non-test items should cover only materials actually taken up in the class. So here is when assessing the learning outcomes, the test items are constructed as follows. Author ang 60%, basic terms, ang 30% moderately difficult or more advanced questions. And ang 10% is the higher thinking skills. So ang questions in each category can actually line in a week. And test and non-test items must cover only the materials taught in class. Let's go next step. So, fourth one is grading system by subject shall follow the guidelines. And enclosure 1 and enclosure 2 of the DepEd Order 33 Series 2004. So, grading by subject follow the guidelines in enclosure 1 and the enclosure 2 of the DepEd Order Number 33 Series of 2004. Dapat makafollow din siya sa guidelines. So, next is transmutation tables shall not be used in the computation of grades. So test scores shall be recorded as row scores, totaled at the end of each grading period, and highest possible score, or is also known as the table of equivalence. So, ang transmutation tables kay not used in grade computation siya. Then, the test scores are recorded as row scores. Total siya sa end of each grading period and expressed as percentage. And this is also known as the table of equivalence. So, let's go next. So, the last one is the final grade is the final grade shall be determined by averaging the marks for the 4 quartile in the case of secondary level. Averaging across quarters shall be by subject only. Promotion at the secondary level shall be by subject. A student shall be retained in the year level if he or she incurs failures of 3 units or more during the regular school year and is unable to make up for the failed subjects during the summer season. To return, students need to repeat only those subjects that they failed. So, the final grade is determined siya sa averaging marks sa 4 quarters. mauna sa elementary. Then sa secondary level is mag-averaging siya is done by subject only. And promotion is also by subject. Then a student is retained in their year level if they fail 3 or more units during the regular school year and cannot make up for the failed subject during summer season. So mag-retain ang students ay must repeat only the subject they failed. So mahura.
So good day everyone. So guidelines for rating elementary pupils. The guidelines for rating the performance of elementary pupils are based on the Enclosure 1 of DepEd Order number 33 as 2004. The percentage distribution of grades for elementary pupils are periodic tests 25% and other measures of achievement 75% as shown in the given table below. Muna siya ang table. So the purpose di ay sa rating ana niya is the grades show how much the pupil understand and learns in class. So ang basis sa iyang rating kay mga evidence of learning such as the quizzes, work, assignments, projects, presentations, performance tests, and the periodic test. So there are two components of the grade. Muna siya ang written work o ang performance or the product. So kinahanglan, each subject can have its own percentage. So means both tests and actual activities count in the grade. So iyang grading period kay ang pupils makakuha siya ng grades every quarter. So sama sa giingon ni Ron na ganiha about sa promotion o retention, ang student is ma-promote siya if makapasar siya sa tanang subjects, then makatake siya remedial classes if na siya usa or duha ka fail subjects, o ma-repeat siya sa year level if naitulo or more than sa subject na na-fail. So next, na siya ang table. The next, so note, the subject Makabayan, grade 5 and 6 are graded in the report card, Form 138 as one subject area. However, each subject needs individual rating. Please the next. So, ari na sabta sa sample computation for rating in Math 6. So, to compute the rating of each student in Math 6 class in a grading period, get the average of all the ratings entered in the class record under each measure of achievement, then multiply the corresponding weight as shown in the table below. So, mauna siya. Ang kana siyang weights, mauna ang equivalent percentage. Then, kanang average, mauna ang mga scores sa iyang mga measures of achievement. Imura na siya 8 times. Kita nimo ang kana ilang weighted average. Then, imo na siya i-total tanan, mauna na ang kana 93.25%. Please to next. So next is the guidelines for rating secondary students. So the guidelines for rating the performance of secondary students are based on the Enclosure 2 of DepEd Order number 33 as 2004. So ang elementary 1 man to, ang sa secondary is 2. So the percentage distribution of weight for secondary students are shown in the given table below. So, muna siyang table. Yung basis sa iyang rating kay grades should reflect how well a student learns, not just the test score. So, ang components sa iyang grade kay same ra sa elementary na ito ka main components katong written work o ang performance. So, means both paper and pencil test and practical work count toward your grades. Then ang computation pod sa iyang grades kay by adding all your scores, converting them to percentage and averaging. Then iyang grading scale kay 75% is the passing grade, below 75 means you fail. Ang final rating kay your final grade is the average of all quarters and 75% is the minimum to pass. Ang katong promotion o retention same ratong sa elementary. Then ang conduct rating kay about sa good behavior is also graded but it doesn't affect your academic average. Please go next. So next is the components of the student's grade. Below are the different components needed for the computation of grades of the students for secondary level in each subject area from Enclosure 2 of DepEd Order number 33 as 2004. Please go next. So first, the periodic test. Mo ni siya ang mga assessment nga ikuan at the end of the quarter. Then ang quiz, mo na siya ang mga summative assessment nga ikuan siya at the end of the lesson or mga quizzes given for formative purposes. Next is the unit test. Mo ni siya ang buhaton after sa topic. Mo ni siya ang ihatag sa teacher na summative test. Next. Ay participation or performance. Mo ni siya ang mga students involved nga mga like pwede siya individually or by group nga kaning kuan buhatonon like kanang role playing, theatrical performance, mga music, dance, nana. Then sunod is project output. Mo ni siya ang mga kanang makita god mahikap nga mga output nila like anang mga book report, movie review, mga journal or research. Next. So assignment or homework usually done outside the classroom for the preparation of the next lesson. Then the last one is the behavior. Muna siya ang observable manifestation of students' feelings, thoughts, or attitude. Grade is reflected in edukasyon sa pagpapahalaga, although every subject teacher is expected to contribute to the assessment of the students' behavior. So the next reporter is Mary Rose.
So good day everyone. So let's proceed to methods of computing final grades. So there are two common methods of computing the final grades. So these are the averaging methods and cumulative method. So the computation of the final grade will depend on the grading policy of the school or colleges and the universities. So in this case, of public elementary and secondary schools, averaging methods is utilized as defined in the DepEd Order number 33 since 2003. So there are two ways to compute final grades, the averaging and the cumulative methods. So ang public schools use the averaging methods where all grading period scores are added and divided by the numbers of periods to get the final grades. So next. So here are the averaging methods. So in this method, the weights of the grade in each grading period are equal. So mauni ang formula. So final grade equals to final grading grade plus second grading grade plus third grading grade plus fourth grading grade. So ang example is the grade of Benjamin in Mathematics 4 is shown below. Find the grade. So ang subject is Mathematics 4. So ang iyahang first grading grade is 89, while iyang second grading grade is 92. Then third grading grade is 94. Ang last is 4th grading grade is 96. So ang final grade niya is 92.75. So giunsa siya pagkuha. So ang gi-add ang upat ka grade. So ang first, second, third, fourth na grading grade. So pag-add sa upat is i-divide siya of 4. So 89 plus 92 plus 94 plus 96 is equals to 371. So upat siya ka grade, which is 371 divided by 4. So ang iyang final grade is 92.75. So ang next is cumulative methods. So in this method, the final grade gives a higher weights of the present grade than the previous grade. So the percentage of the present and previous grades will depend on the policy of the school, but especially in the private schools as defined by the Manual of Private Schools. The cumulative method is the sum of the third grading grade of the fourth grading grade. So the formula is final grade equals to 1/3 the third grading grade plus 2/3 the fourth grading grade. So next is, ang example is the grade of Brian Christopher in Mathematics 4 is distributed in the table below. So compute the final grade using the cumulative method. So ang subject is, mauna ang nasa table, mauna ang iyahang grade. So ang subject is mathematics. So giunsa siya pag-solve is ang final grade equals to 1/3. Ang kanang 1/3 o 2/3 is given na siya. So ang 1/3 is gikan siya sa third grading grade plus the 2/3 is the fourth grading grade. So ang pag-solve ani is 1/3 equals to 94. Then plus sa 2/3 is 96. So ang pag-solve ani is 94 over 3. Then plus 96 times 2 over 3. So ngano na 94? So ang 94 is di-copy ra sa 1/3 din. Ang 1 times 2 is 2 man din. Ang 96 na grade sa 4th grading grade is gi-times siya og ikaduha. So unsaon pagsubay? So ang final grade is di-subay siya 94 divided by 3 is equivalent to 31.33. Then ang second is 96. Ang 96 divided by o times of 2. Ang 96 times 2 is 192. Then 192 din divided by siya of 3. So ang answer is 64. Then ang answer sa 94 divided by 3 is 31.33. So ang answer sa ikaduha is 64. So unsaan siya pagkuha sa iyang final grade is gi-plus ang 32 plus 64 is equal to 93.33. So mauna ang grade ni Ryan Christopher sa math. So ang next is grading system for pupils or students under the K-12 curriculum. So the grading system for pupils or students in the K-12 curriculum is based on DepEd Order number 73, Series 2012. known as the Guidelines on the Assessment and Rating. So this is applicable only for pupils or students enrolled in grade 1 and grade 7, beginning in school year 2012 to 2013. The assessment of the performance of the learners under the K-12 curriculum shall be holistic with emphasis on the formative or developmental purpose of quality assuring students' learning. It is also standards-based, for the teachers has to make sure that he will teach the learners based on the exceed them. So in this case, the students' attainment of the standard is very important in terms of the content and performance of the learners, for this is the evidence of learners. So the K-12 grading system is based on the DepEd Order number 72 series 2012. So ang kani is nag-focus sa assessing students in a holistic and standard-based way. So this means teachers check not only sa result but also unsaon sa pagkaton o pag-improve sa students. So students are graded based on how well they meet or exceed. So the learning standard showing real evidence of learnings. So ang next is the levels of assessment. So formative assessment will be used to measure the attainment of the learning outcomes as defined in the learning standards which ensure quality of learning. So they shall be focused on the summative assessment and shall be the basis for grading at the end of the instruction. So there are 4 levels of learning outcomes. The knowledge, which has percentage of 15%. The process of the skills has 25%, with an understanding kay 30%. And the product or performance level is 30%. So ang total is 100%. So, ang knowledge level is 15% what the students know or remembers. So ang second is process level. So ang process level kay 25% kung unsaon sa students paggamit o pag-apply sa ilahang nahibaw-an. While ang understanding level is naa siya 30% din unsaon pag-understand sa students sa ilahang idea o ang iyang concept. So ang lastly is products or performances level. So ang kani is 30% gihapon siya din unsaon pag-apply sa students sa ilang learning in real life tasks. So
Okay, so next is levels of proficiency. So the performance of the student shall be described in the report card based on the following levels of proficiency. So there are 5. So first is beginning or B. So the student at this level struggles with his or her understanding of prerequisite and fundamental knowledge and or skills have not been acquired or developed adequately to aid understanding. So this part or this level, this is the starting point. So the student at this level haven't yet grasped the basic knowledge or skills needed for that subject. So it means like dili pa kay niya totally masabtan kung unsa pay mga basic knowledge or skills nga kinahanglan niya sabtan for that subject. Like mag-struggle pa siya to adapt sa kuan sa environment or sa kanang subject like difficult pa siya mo answer sa question or completing assignments or even participating in class discussion without support or without direct help. Okay. So next is developing or D. So the student at this level possesses the minimum knowledge and skills and poor understanding but needs help throughout the performance of authentic tasks. So it means like students are starting to get the hang of things but they still need quite a bit assistance. So like for example, kaya na nimo but even though kaya na nimo nag-video kung pag-assistant. Okay. So may na sila basic understanding or basic knowledge for that subject, but still can't yet apply it independently. So, na sila understanding pero dili nila kaya i-apply na sila. So, they might understand individual concept but struggle to connect them or use them in more complex tasks. Okay, so this level, the student can often follow along with guidance, so that will need help when asked to do something on their own. Okay, so next is number 3 is approaching proficiency or EP. Okay, so the student at this level has developed the fundamental knowledge and skills and core understanding. Or some assistance from peers can transfer this understanding through authentic performance tasks. So it means, wait for a while. Okay, so for this level, it means that the students are nearly where they need to be. So they understand the core ideas and skills. They can use their knowledge and practical situation with a little bit of help. So same with number 2. So they can do but still need assistance or help. So they are able to transfer their understanding but still benefits from occasional guidance. So for example, like sa mga classmates or sa mga teachers. So some of the students are often able to complete tasks successfully with minimal support. So kaya na nila makakomplete o mga activity pero magbigay po ng gamay na support from their peers or their classmates or their groups. Okay, so let's proceed to number 4. So number 4 is profession or P. So the student at this level has developed the fundamental knowledge and skills or understanding and can transfer them independently through authentic performance tasks. So it means that they can apply what they've learned in the situation without needing help. So they've mastered the core requirements of the subject. So like the student in this level are confident and capable and can work independently on most tasks. So it means like they can stand on their own. So they can stand on their own and they are independent now. They are independent to do the schoolwork without help for someone. Okay. So next is number 5. It's advanced or A. So the student at this level exceeds the core requirements in terms of knowledge, skills, and understanding, and can transfer them automatically and flexible to authentic performance tasks. So it means that this level, the student at this level go above and beyond what is expected. So they have a deep understanding of the subject matter and can use their knowledge in creative, flexibility, and exceed the core requirements. So like the students here in this level often demonstrate a high level of practical thinking and problem-solving skills. So they can easily adapt their knowledge to new challenging situations. So for example, like kanang kuan, like makahibaw na kamo barog in your own, like over na ka sa kanang kuan, sa gipangayo nga kuan, gipangayo nga requirements. So for example, 100 rataman pero ang imuhang level ang level sa imuhang critical thinking sa imuhang skills kay over na sa 100, like overconfident na ka, like inana. So next is here's the table for in order to determine the level of proficiency of the student. So numerical value is important to get it. So compute first the sum of all the results of the student's performance on the various level of assessment. So after, the following shall appear in the report card. So here's the table. So for the numerical value, for 74% and below, the level of proficiency is the beginning. So for beginning is 74% and below. So for developing, that is 75 to 79%. And for approaching proficiency, that is an 80 to 84%. And also for profession, that is 85 to 89%. And for advanced, of course, it's 90% in account. 90 to 100. Okay. So next is averaging method. So this shall be used in the computation of the final grade. It is the average of the 4 quarters rating and it's expressed in terms of proficiency level. So, ito din ang averaging method. So, each quarter, a student receive a proficiency level like beginning, developing, approaching proficiency, or it could be a profession or advanced. Okay, so averaging method, guys. So this method provides a comprehensive view of the student performance throughout the entire year, rather than relying on just one quarter grade. So nag-compute na siya for final grade from first quarter, fifth quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter. So ang final grade ana nila kay calculated the ratings for sa katuwapan ng quarter for that school year. Okay. Next is promotion and retention. So the promotion and retention of students shall be by subject. A student whose proficiency level is beginning at the end of each quarter will be required for a remedial class after class hour and we can set up on the next reading period. So when a student remains at the proficiency level at the end of the week, he will be required to take the summer class. So it means kung gani, like ang yang proficiency level kay year na bigyan. So need ka mo join sa remedial class. Okay? After sa class hour, catch up sa mga class na bigyan improve. Okay. So, if a student receive a beginning proficiency level at the end of the quarter, so again, they are required to attend remedial class after a regular class hour. So, what is the purpose for that day? Isa the purpose namin join mag-remedial basta kanakuan makakuha ang student o kanang proficiency level like beginning. Okay, so these classes are designed to help the student catch up and improve their understanding of the material before the next grading period. So, ang purpose din nga nung mag-remedial class ang student nga nakakuha og kanang beginning or like a lower proficiency level so para guys mas makatch up nila ang mga topic or mas ma-improve pa ang ilang understanding sa kana nga subject. And also para ma-ready sila in the next grading period. Okay. The next is so aside from remedial class, nila mo attend o ganang summer class. So, again, if makakuha ka beginning or proficiency level, pwede ka mo join ang summer class kay it provide an opportunity for the student to review the materials and improve their proficiency before the next school year. So, similar sa remedial, but summer class, nag-improve po siya sa imuhang kuan. Maka-improve po siya sa imuhang critical thinking or common knowledge. Next is guidelines for effective and fair grading. Okay, so Miller, Lang, and Jangland suggested the following guidelines for effective and fair grading, and this would be adopted in the Philippine educational system, so most especially in the higher educational institution. So there are total of 10. So let's start with that one. So let's start with number 1. So number 1, describe the grading procedures to the student at the beginning of instruction. So what does it mean in the out? Okay, so at the start of the semester or course, so a teacher or instructors should clearly explain how grades will be determined. So dapat explain ng pamayo kung unsaon pag-determine ang grades for the student. Okay, so number 2, make clear to the student that the course grade will be based on achievement only. So grades should reflect a student mastery of the course, content, and skills. So dapat ang kanang exam, quizzes, and project that directly measure understanding of the material. So dapat ang pag-determine kay require mo ang student to obtain knowledge practical way. So dapat clear sa mind student kung unsa di ay ang kanang kuan course kailangan ikuha. Okay. So number 3, explain how other elements will be reported, such as effort, work habits, and personal characteristics. Okay, so it means like, so here in number 3, if instructors want to provide feedback on things like effort, work habits, or skills, so they should do separately from the academic grade. So, yan naman. So, dapat i-separate nimo ang paghatag sa imong feedback sa ilang effort, sa ilang habit, o sa ilang social skills, i-separate nimo sa ilang academic grade because they are not the same man. Okay, so, make it clear sa student nga ang kaning factors like ang ilang individual meetings like inganana dili siya affect sa ilang academic grade. Okay, so let's proceed to number 4. Okay, so number 4 is relate the grading procedures to the intended learning outcome. So instructional goals and the objectives. So like there are specific or measurable skills or knowledge a student should have by the end of the unit. So here, the student will be analyze a primary source, document for bias. Okay, so if a grade is based on things not in the learning outcome, so the grade become meaningless as a nature of academic achievement. Okay, so next is number 5. Obtain valid evidence as basis to score for the grade. Dapat nakay valid evidence. Like, nakay mapakita nila sa ilang test, sa ilang assessment, o sa ilang rating. No? Like, clear siya. Nakay ka ng valid evidence from the student. Okay, dapat imo na siyang ikip tanan. Okay. So, let's proceed to number 6. So, take precaution to prevent cheating on the assignment assessment. So, kinahanglan, maghatag kita like, no. So, if grades are to be a valid measure of individual achievement, like, for the work is the student's own. So, dapat, wala sila magpalit sa iba. Okay. So, number 7, store and review all tests and assessment results as soon as possible. So, you need to review. So, this is about feedback, which the research shows is one of the most powerful tools for learning. So, need na to i-review ang mga assessment or mga test na result na student as soon as possible. Take ng lalim mo siya. Okay, number 8, properly weigh the various types of achievement included in the grade. So, here, cumulative final exam is summative assessment that measure all outcomes. So, kinahanglan, like, naka-assign na siya sa different percentage to different assessment categories. So, for example, ang homework kay 15% buron, ang quizzes kay 25%, ang project kay 30%, and ang final exam kay 30%. So, dapat, ang inyong various types sa achievement kay include na siya sa grado. Okay. So, next is not lower ang achievement. Achievement grade for academic, report on behavior. So, behavior and report are important too. So, if you report use from the academic grade. So, dapat, like, hindi mo siya i-lower sa maayo kanang mga achievement like kusog kayo musod sa klase nga tagdugan na, permanent niya, wala effort nga manimuha sa nga makaton then like ang lang behavior kay not good for good. So, do not lower that one. And lastly, be fair. Avoid bias and when it's doubt, review the pieces of evidence such as scores in the board line, additional log, assign a higher grade. So, be fair. Dapat dapat patag. Avoid bias. Dapat wala kay wala kay bias. Dapat wala kay favorite. So dapat dili ka favoritism as a teacher. So bias is often unconscious. Be unconsciously influenced by students' past performance or their own past personality. So, some of the students ay nag-ubang relationships and the teacher, like, close kay sila, yung ana, so, ang tendency, like, kana nga student, mahatagan niya dako ang grado, ay, mahatagan niya dako ang grado compared sa other students, so, dapat be fair. Dili porket close na yung mga student, o kung sa mga student, dapat maglakaw na siya. Okay? Dapat clear. Okay. So now let's proceed to table of equivalence. So the table of equivalence is utilized in the computation of this course in education. So you need to take note that this is mandated only for elementary and secondary public schools based in the Ed and Order number 33 as 2004. So here's the formula and the computation of the tables of equivalence. Okay, so you need to total how to get the percentage. So first, percentage equals total score over total number of items times 100%. Okay, that's very simple. So imuha rang ang total score or ang total number of items i-times mo siya sa 100%. Okay, so if the number of items is not found in the table, use the formula to compute the percentage to facilitate the computation. So you can utilize the Excel program just like this table. Okay, so here's the example of the table equivalent. For 50 items, 40 items, 30 items, 20 items, and 10. So for 50 items, 1 to 40 here. This is the continuation page for this one. Okay, so for the 50 items, there is total 40. So for how to get the percentage, so it's times 2. So for 1, it's percentage of 2. For 2, it's 4. So until 40. So just times 2. Okay, let's go back for this one. Okay, so for 40 items, the percentage is 3. So the 1 is for 3, 2 is for 5, so by 3. 3, 5, 8, 10, 13. Okay, so for 30 items, it's 3 also. Yes, 3, 7, 10, 13, 17, 20, up until. So for 30 items, you can see here, for the items, that is, the percentage is by 1, that is, I don't seem to see down. So for the 10 items, so percentage will be 10 also. Okay, so for example here 1, so it will be 10. So 2, 20, 30, 40, 50 up until 100. Okay, so that is the example or the table equivalent for 50 items, 40 items, 30 items, 20 items, and 10. Okay, so this is the continuation page for the table, and that's the end of our topic for today.